Hi, Benny here from Falling in Love with Presenting. This tip is around the power of telling stories when you do presentations with a massive proviso. Now, when you're able to tell stories when you present, even if they are short stories, we're not talking about necessarily your whole life story, but a quick little illustration. Like I often start a presentation with, on my way here this morning, and then I would use something that happened this morning as a way to teach and prepare the audience, engage them, get them interested, get them intrigued, and so on. And often also, in my case, I would talk about my life and talk about specific things that happened to me in my past because it makes me human, it makes me real, and very often there's some things to learn from my life experiences, and it allows me to demonstrate the teachings in a real practical way. So kind of people just kind of get stories. Here's the proviso though. Never, ever, 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 say with me, ever, ever, tell stories that you haven't completely processed yet. Now, here's what I mean by that. Stories that are still live, in other words. If you still have something that happened to you that every time you even think about it, you get so angry, you just completely lose it, that is not a good story for you to tell. Now, that does not mean that you cannot use anger when you present. It just means you cannot tell a story where the anger will be overwhelming and you might spiral out of control. It's not a good idea. Same thing with sad stories or grief stories. I recently told or talked about my dad who died last year, and as I told the story quite unexpectedly to me, some tears came and I was emotionally touched by the event that I was sharing. For me, that is totally and utterly okay. So here's what I mean by live and unprocessed stories. If I had told that story and I ended up crying on a heap on the floor on the stage and I had to drag me off on a stretcher, that is not a good story to tell. The purpose of stories is to evoke connection with the audience, to evoke a certain set of emotions, and if you cannot use the emotion but the emotion overwhelms you when you tell the story, it's not a good story to tell. Either give it some time or talk the story through or get some therapy or do some EFT tapping or whatever you need to do for the story to be processed, or pick another story. That's it. Love to hear what you think. Please post your comments and questions. And until next time, bye for now.